Collectibles can be a great way to have players scour areas to make sure they are getting to see all the wonderful things the game designers put into a game. Collectibles can also be a great way to waste your time. Sometimes games can be so padded with so many collectibles, your character will be stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey. Today I'm breaking down the top 10 games that wasted my time, and probably yours too, usually getting diddly squat in return. I'm Calazaki and I make gaming videos like this every week, so if you like this, please consider subscribing. It will really help me out because 85% of my viewers are not actually subscribed, and that way I get to collect you like I've collected these collectibles in the games we see today. So let's jump into the video and talk about the top 10 collectibles ever thunked up by man. Number 10, Golden Film Reels LA Noire. LA Noire is a game where you play as a 1940s detective who solves crimes by staring at people like they owe him money. You drive terribly, collect hats, and accuse everyone of lying just because they blinked. But you probably already know this, it's been memed to death.
The wallet by the car. Was there anything in it when you arrived?
You accusing me of something, mister?
So why am I talking about LA Noire? Because in this game, players are tasked with finding 50 golden film reels. They are scattered across the massive 1940s Los Angeles map. Think of them as Hollywood's version of Pokemon, but instead of evolving, you just unlock a trophy. They're often tucked away in alleys, on rooftops, behind buildings, or in bizarrely cinematic spots. Because apparently old-timey criminals love sneaking off to watch movies. The game doesn't give you a checklist in-game because that would be too convenient. So you have to take notes or follow a numbered route if you want to avoid missing any. Now you're probably going to ask me, what is the reward? Unfortunately, these reels offer no in-game benefits, making them feel like a tacked-on feature rather than meaningful collectibles. This lands at number 10 on the list because even though there are only 50 reels, they're the ultimate why am I doing this collectible. 50 tiny film canisters hidden all over a massive map with zero hints, no tracker, and no reward beyond a trophy. So it's probably a good reason why I'm into trophies for things like this. A silly collectathon in an otherwise fantastic game. That's why it's number 10 on this list.
What happens to the cars once they cross over the state lines?
I don't know. I just deliver them.
Give me something, Velasco, or I'll take you back to the cells and tell the whole station you're a child molester.
Number 9, Coffee Thermoses Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a game about a tortured writer who battles shadow monsters with a flashlight and the power of metaphor. He's constantly narrating his own descent into madness like a noir poet who just discovered Stephen King. You're in a creepy forest town full of flickering lights, ominous whispers, and people who look like they haven't slept since 1973. It's tense, atmospheric, and deeply psychological. What is that? So what do I have to do? Scattered across Bright Falls are 100 silver coffee thermoses, collectible flasks that serve no story purpose, offer no gameplay benefit, and somehow never spill. They're perched on rocks, tucked behind cabins, and occasionally just sitting in the middle of nowhere like, drink me bro. Alan's in a desperate fight for his life against darkness himself, but let's make sure he's got a fresh cup of joe first. Priorities. So this actually mirrors my life in South Korea. It's kind of like a living hell and everybody's drinking coffee every day. So it's hell. Priorities. From collecting these thermoses, you don't even get clever in-world lore. For instance, like, this was the sheriff's favorite mug, or Tom the lumberjack had a crippling caffeine addiction. But nope, just endless silent thermoses like some kind of barista-themed fever dream. And don't expect the game to help you. No map markers, no tracker, not even a snarky narrator comment. Just you, your flashlight, and your obsessive need to make that collectible count go up. He's the best. He's the best part. So you're probably thinking, what is the reward of doing this? And you're probably going to see a theme of why I've made this video, because you get absolutely diddly Squat. You get nothing. No new abilities, no secret ending, no acknowledgement in the story that Alan's been hoarding caffeine like it's the apocalypse. You get a trophy and a slowly dawning realization that you could have just done literally anything else with your time. So why do I think this is deserving of number 9 spot on my list? And that is because 100 Coffee Thermoses is a cry for help disguised as a side quest. In a game about madness and delusion, the most unhinged thing you can ever do is go out of your way to collect all of these thermoses. Think of it like this: it's a surreal scavenger hunt where the only monster is your own completionist brain. A tedious, immersion-breaking fetch quest disguised as collectible culture. Also, they're not even cool like those pink Stanley Cups. In conclusion, the real darkness in Alan Wake isn't the taken, it's the moment you realize you're halfway through your second playthrough and you miss the thermos under a bench. Yes, that pain. Number 8. Riddler Trophies, the Batman Arkham Series. Batman Arkham is a series where you become the world's greatest detective. By solving physics puzzles set up by a guy in green pajamas, you're brooding, gliding through the city, breaking bones in the name of justice, and then you stop everything because some guy named Edward Nygma left a question mark under a sewer grate and dared you to get it. Yes, we're talking about the Riddler Trophies, the most diabolical crime against your free time in the entire franchise. What do you have to do? Across the Arkham games, especially Arkham City and Arkham Knight, there are hundreds of glowing green trophies. They're hidden behind puzzles, time challenges, and how would anyone ever think to do that logic that makes you question your own intelligence? Flip a switch, throw a batarang, remote control your Batmobile into a wall, all to get one more of Riddler's little participation prizes. And don't worry, they're everywhere. They're on rooftops, in tunnels, behind destructible walls you didn't even know were destructible. Sometimes the game basically requires a PhD in gadget usage just to get one, and lots of backtracking. Oh, you haven't got that new gadget yet? Well, I guess you're coming back in about 10 hours of game time. So what is the reward? Well, if you collect all of them, all 243 in Arkham Knight alone, you get to fight the Riddler. Finally. He won't fight you unless you also rescue every hostage and solve every side puzzle because he's petty like that. So the reward is a boss fight with a smug man in a mech suit, which sounds cool until you realize you've spent 20 hours opening tiny boxes just to get punched in the face by a nerd. So why do I think this is deserving of number 8 spot on my list? Because the Riddler Trophies are the ultimate example of a side activity ballooning out of control. They're not collectibles, they're a full-time job. They turn Batman from a predator of the night into a scavenger with OCD. You'll spend more time trying to line launch yourself into a vent than actually stopping crime. It's not about solving riddles anymore, it's about your own personal unraveling. In short, the Riddler didn't challenge Batman's mind, he challenged us. So for number 7, I really wanted to put this higher on the list, but it ended up at number 7 spot. You'll see why. And that is completing 100% of a completion list in the Yakuza series. Yakuza is a series where you punch people so hard they forget what decade it is, then immediately help a stranger reunite with their pet chicken. It's a perfect blend of crime drama, heartfelt storytelling, and complete unhinged side content. And then it hits you with the completion list on top of that. What do you have to do? Let's start with the basics. The completion list in Yakuza games tracks everything, and I mean everything. Beat every minigame, eat every menu item at every restaurant, fight every enemy type, do every side quest, including the ones you need to fail first, max every hostess's affection meter, win at Mahjong. Yes, you actually have to learn how to play Mahjong. And the games do not care if you understand the rules or not. Oh, and let's not forget the real grind. You have to complete every challenge in every minigame. You will bowl, you will fish, you will throw darts like your life depends on it, you will master karaoke, shogi, slot car racing, and one weird chicken racing game from Yakuza 5. You'll go from feared Yakuza legend to a man desperately trying to win at UFO catches so you can check a box on a spreadsheet. So what is your reward for doing these in the game? It's usually just a platinum trophy, some in-game items, maybe even a new outfit, and that's a maybe. And of course the deep existential satisfaction of knowing you made Kiryu, a man who once defeated a literal bear, spend 10 hours becoming a baseball batting cage god. So why do I think this is number 7 on the list? Because the Yakuza completion list is the ultimate death by 1,000 side activities. It's a fun game turned into a lifestyle. It starts as a casual checklist and ends with you rage googling optimal dice strategies for a board game you didn't even know existed. I guess a bonus of this is you come out of the game as a part-time darts champion, full-time restaurant reviewer, and a part-time cabaret manager with crippling completionist burnout. The real final boss of Yakuza isn't God Hands or Amon, it's the completion list. Number 6 is Gold Skulltulas from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. For the time period, this game is incredible. It really is. But one bad thing about the game, the collectibles. So Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, a sweeping tale of courage, time travel, and accidentally rolling into walls for 5 minutes straight. You battle evil, save the kingdom, and occasionally turn into a child so you can crawl into a hole and steal someone's cow. But in between epic dungeon crawling and emotionally scarring cutscenes, there's something else waiting for you. Gold Skulltula! What do you have to do? Scattered across all of Hyrule are 100 gold Skulltulas. Magical, cursed, clicking spiders that only show up when you're close enough to hear that awful sound they make. I'm trying to remember the sound from my childhood. It's like... But anyway, you find them in trees, behind rocks, inside crates, on walls in dungeons, under soil, at night, on Tuesdays, basically everywhere. Sometimes you need bombs, sometimes a boomerang, sometimes you just scream, "Where is it?" while standing next to a fence. And of course, they only appear once and only in specific child or adult timelines, which means you're flipping between young Link and grown-up Link like a confused time-traveling exterminator. One moment you're fighting Ganondorf, the next you're crawling into some dude's shed to whack a spider with a slingshot. The good news is you don't have to collect all of 100, but the bad news, you will, because they give you rewards along the way, so your brain goes, well, I already got 73, so I might as well finish. So here's what you get. When you collect 10, you get a big wallet. When you collect 20, an even bigger wallet. Wow. 50? A heartfelt thank you and some rupees, the in-game currency. And for collecting 100, a curse is lifted and you get a whopping gold rupee. So you're probably thinking, wow, I'm so rich right now, I could buy all of Hyrule and the people and I could rule it with a big gold Skulltula thumb. But no, the gold rupee is worth 200 rupees. Which is not a lot in the game. And by the way, when you get over a certain amount of rupees, the rest of the rupees just disappear because your wallet is already full. Because you ended up doing everything in the game, so you're already rich. So why do I think this is number 6 on the list? Because gold Skulltulas are the childhood equivalent of unpaid internships. You do all of this work, get a pat on the back, and realize the real reward was wasting an entire summer combing every corner of Hyrule. You wanted to save Zelda, but instead you spent 40 hours listening for spider clicks behind walls. You wanted to be the hero of time, but you became the pest control of destiny. In conclusion, Ocarina of Time may have changed gaming forever, but gold Skulltulas changed the way we think about side quests forever. Number 5, Light Seeds, Prince of Persia 2008. Prince of Persia 2008 is a game where you wall run through a watercolor painting while trading banter with a magical companion and pretending you're royalty, even though you're basically just a guy with a scarf. You cleanse corruption, defy gravity, and question if the prince's entire plan is just keep running until things look cleaner. It's atmospheric, elegant, and kind of underrated, until you meet your true enemy. The Light Seeds! All 1001 of them. So what do you have to do? After you cleanse each corrupted area, the game sprinkles the map with glowing light seeds. Little sparkly orbs that look like hope but feel like unpaid overtime. There are 540 required to unlock powers and progress through the story. That's already a pretty heavy ask. But if you're a trophy hunter, a completionist, or just someone whose brain won't let them leave numbers unfinished, you're going for 1001. That's 461 extra light seeds, tucked in every corner, ledge, platform, pole, and pixel of the map. Some are just lying around. Others require a parkour sequence so elaborate you'll wonder if the developers had a personal vendetta against Joy. So if you miss one, it's time to backtrack. Across the 3 zones, bounce off a wall, cling to a ceiling, and try not to throw your controller into the sun. It's less of a platformer and more of a glow-in-the-dark scavenger hunt sponsored by Spite. So what is the reward, you may ask? What do you get for collecting all 1001 light seeds? A trophy. And believe me, on this channel we like trophies, but it's a big ask. Also, one annoying thing is, the final light seed is rewarded in the game's closing cinematic, meaning the last one is literally cutscene only. You don't even collect it, it just happens to you like poetic irony. There's no new outfit, no secret level, no bonus powers, just one shiny trophy. Also, the creeping realization that you could have learned a language or started therapy in the time it took you to do this. So why do I think this is number 5 on the list? Because it takes a beautifully minimalistic game and turns it into a sweaty parkour spreadsheet. You start out as a noble acrobat saving a kingdom and then finish the journey as a hoarder. Also to note, collecting 1001 light seeds is necessary to unlock the true ending. However, a common glitch can prevent players from collecting them all. It can just disappear forever, so great. That's awesome. In short, the final boss of Prince of Persia was your refusal to leave a shiny glowing thing behind. Number 4, Agility Orbs, Crackdown Series. Crackdown is a game where you're a super cop in a dystopian city run by crime lords, but instead of investigating leads or upholding justice, you spend most of your time leaping across rooftops like a cybernetic grasshopper. It's explosive, chaotic, and weirdly empowering, until you realize your real enemy isn't the gangs, it's the green glowing orbs scattered across the skyline like radioactive skittles. We're talking about the Agility Orbs. So what do I have to do? In Crackdown, and especially Crackdown 2, there are 500 agility orbs hidden across the open world. They boost your agility stat, which lets you jump higher and move faster. So the more you get, the easier it becomes to get the ones you don't have yet. Cool, right? But here's the kicker. They're perched on rooftops, antennas, bridges, smokestacks, statues, satellite dishes, cranes, basically anything that might kill you if you fall off it. And just like that, the game becomes less Super Cop Justice Simulator and more urban rock climbing with a light addiction twist. You'll swear you can see one in the distance, parkour your way halfway across the district, and even realize it's just a trick of the light. Or worse, it's on a building with no way up unless you maxed out your jump height. The moment you hear that shimmering sound effect nearby, that's it. Your brain shuts off. Mission abandoned, gang boss forgotten. You will not rest until a glowing green bauble is yours. So what's the reward? Aside from the progressively more jacked agent and some satisfying movement upgrades, collecting all 500 agility orbs in the game earns you nothing special, just the Orb Hunter Supreme achievement, and a dark pleasure of knowing you gave up several evenings to chase floating space gumballs. Crackdown 2 ups the ante with an extra 300 hidden orbs, for a total of 800 orbs, because apparently Microsoft looked at the first game and said, you know what this game needs? More glowing orbs. So what's the reward in that game? Still mostly bragging rights, plus the creeping suspicion that you've become a raccoon in human form. So why is this number 4 on my list? Because Agility Orbs weaponized the reward center of your brain. They didn't just encourage exploration, they turned it into a full-blown compulsion. You weren't even playing a game anymore. You were chasing that next ding like a lab rat in a neon cityscape. You'll ignore firefights, objectives, even physics, just to climb a weird satellite dish for one more orb, and when you get it, that sweet, sweet audio cue hits like a serotonin slap in the face. In short, Crackdown wasn't about cleaning up crime. It was about collecting every last orb before they collected you. Number 3 is Pigeons from Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a gritty, grounded story about crime, immigration, and the American dream, delivered through car chases, depressing phone calls, and physics that punish you for trying to have fun. In this game, you play as Nico Bellic. Hey Nico, you want to go bowling? So that's all I remember from playing this game. You are fresh from war looking for a new life in Liberty City. But forget about story, morals, or emotional nuance, because at some point, this serious crime drama asks you to hunt down and murder 200 pigeons. Yes, Pigeons. So scattered across Liberty City are 200 flying rats. Glowing, cooing symbols of madness perched on ledges, rooftops, bridges, billboards, fire escapes, and spots you didn't even know were reachable without astral projection. They don't show up in the map and they make no noise. They give you no reward for the first 199. You just shoot them one by one because Rockstar thought that what Liberty City really needed was a psychotic bird genocide side quest. You'll be wandering the city with a sniper rifle, scanning every nook and cranny like a paranoid exterminator with a grudge. And when you do find one, half the time it's on a building that's impossible to climb, unless you've memorized Liberty City's cursed geometry. So what do you get for committing full-blown pigeoncide? We get a trophy, a helicopter spawn at your safe house, and the feeling that your soul has eroded just a little bit more. You don't even get a thank you from Nico, because even he knows that was a mistake. So why do I think this is deserving of number 3 spot? Because the pigeons in GTA 4 are the definition of thankless, soul-breaking busywork. They aren't collectibles, they're punishments. And if you're unlucky, the game will glitch out just to add insult to injury. And speaking of injury, here's the part where I lost it. So picture this, I got to pigeon 177, I followed a guide, double-checked the map, knew exactly where it should be, but it wasn't there. Gone. Missing, finito, vanished like my will to live. And in that moment, I felt like snapping the disc in half the way Kratos snaps necks, with brutal disappointment and a complete lack of mercy. Because nothing makes you question your life choices quite like failing a bird genocide trophy due to a glitch. GTA 4 was supposed to be about choices, consequences, and the weight of the past. Instead, I spent 20 hours bird hunting like a caffeinated sociopath with a vendetta and a sniper rifle. And for what? A chopper and a platinum trophy I never even got. And number 2 is golden bananas and shells from Donkey Kong 64. This game is infamous for its overwhelming number of collectibles, including 201 golden bananas, each requiring different characters to collect. Donkey Kong 64 is a game where you control not 1, not 2, but 5 different Kongs, each with their own unique moves and weapons. Sounds cool, right? Until you realize that the game's solution to collectibles is force you to switch characters constantly. And yes, that means hunting for different colored bananas, golden bananas, and shells that only certain Kongs can pick up. This game is actually infamous for its overwhelming number of collectibles, including 201 golden bananas, each requiring different characters to collect, leading to repetitive gameplay. So what do you have to do? There are 3,500 regular bananas, 201 golden bananas, and 949 banana coins. Scattered across the levels, color-coded for each Kong. 100 golden bananas, often hidden behind puzzles, boss fights, or tricky platforming sections. 15 banana coins used to buy keys and open new areas, and 5 blueprint pieces to upgrade your weapons. To collect every banana, you have to grab the right Kong, travel back to the hub or the character changing portal, sometimes located miles away, use the Kong to grab bananas only they can reach, swap again because now you need the next Kong to get the next batch of bananas, and repeat this dance until your thumbs bleed and your patience evaporates. It's a non-stop back and forth grind, combined with backtracking through levels you thought you'd finished. You want a golden banana? Well, better make sure you selected Tiny Kong. Need to bust a shell? Donkey Kong's your man. Trying to find that last elusive blue banana? Switch to Diddy and hope you remembered the portal location. It's like a collectible scavenger hunt hosted by the devil, with 5 contestants you have to babysit. So the reward for this, if you can even call it a reward, is getting to finish the game. So yeah, it's kind of necessary to collect them all, but it feels like being stuck in a vending machine full of frustration where every snack requires the exact right coin and password. So the reason why this is number 2 on my list is because Donkey Kong 64 makes you a character swapping hamster on a wheel of fruit addiction. You spend more time changing Kong skins than actually playing. The backtracking is relentless, the banana count never feels close to done, and every shell feels like a chore. The game might be fun, but this collectible system is a masterclass in how to make players regret loving bananas. In short, Donkey Kong 64 didn't want you to just collect bananas, it wanted to make you bananas. So here we are at number 1 on the list. Great job in getting this far into the video, and I feel like this is going to be number 1 on many people's list, and that is Korok Seeds from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a masterpiece of open world freedom, exploration, and well, discovering the nature's greatest trick to hiding thousands of tiny pine cones. Because at some point, your epic quest to save Hyrule turns into find 900 plus Korok Seeds. Korok Seeds are these tiny, sneaky collectibles hidden all over Hyrule. They're buried under rocks, tucked inside puzzles, disguised as patterns on the ground, floating in the air, sitting under trees and rock formations, in flower circles, and basically anywhere the game can think of. So there's 900 plus of these. There's no map marker for most of them, just your intuition, or more likely dozens of guides and videos. If you miss one, good luck finding it again without a detailed checklist or a psychic connection. And here's the real kicker, Korok Seeds don't do much. You trade 10 of them for an inventory upgrade, but after that they're just more seeds. They don't unlock new story content, they don't unlock cool weapons, they just exist to mock you. You need 441 to max out inventory expansions, and then after that it's not great. So like I said, what's the reward? You get to expand your inventory slots, but only after turning in hundreds of seeds for each upgrade, and when you finally do max out your inventory, you're left holding dozens, sometimes hundreds of useless seeds cluttering your inventory. Congratulations, you have a full backpack full of seed clutter. So why do I think this is number one on the list? It's pretty obvious. Because Korok Seeds are the ultimate why am I doing this collectible. They turn Breath of Wild's gorgeous open world into a scavenger hunt from hell. You're not exploring anymore, you're pixel hunting for the tiniest needle in the biggest digital haystack ever made. You'll find yourself circling the same rock formations multiple times, testing every suspicious patch of dirt, and cursing the day Nintendo decided to have a great idea to scatter nearly 1,000 pointless invisible items across the map. Sure, you saved the kingdom, now find lots of seeds. Makes sense, yeah? And guess what? Once you find all 1,000, what's your biggest reward after all the inventory upgrades? You must be thinking, wow, I'm gonna get like a really powerful weapon, or I'm gonna be able to rule this kingdom, just like I said about Ocarina of Time. But no, you get a big, giant gold poop. And yep, that's what you get for the time that you invested. The developers are basically mocking you. Great job! This is why it's number one on my list, because I feel like this is the biggest FU in gaming. The thing is, on the PlayStation and the Xbox, you have an achievement or a trophy system, so at least you get something out of doing something like this. On Nintendo, they lack such systems, so you literally just get your own bragging rights. I don't know, like, you can't really show it off to anyone, like your friends on the playground, I guess, or like the people at work. And I feel like that's even more embarrassing than getting a trophy, to be fair. At least if you earn a trophy, your friends can just ignore it and it's just there for you to enjoy. To get bragging rights for this, you kind of got to pull out your Switch in front of your friends, and that's already, oh my god. So yeah, good luck with that. This is why the Switch needs an achievement system. I feel like I'm gonna get lots of hate for that. I know lots of people hate that idea, but achievement trophy system, coin system would be fantastic. In short, you spend hours feeling like a hero, smashing boxes and saving kingdoms, then you get stuck hunting thousands of tiny pinecone lookalikes that do nothing but clutter your pockets. It's like winning a battle only to end up with a pocket full of glitter. Annoying, impossible to get rid of, and somehow everywhere. Congratulations, your epic quest just turned into a glitter-filled explosion of diarrhea. So there you have it, my top 10 worst collectibles in gaming. I hope you enjoyed the video. I put a lot of work into this video, so if you liked it, please show some love by commenting, subscribing, or hitting that like button. It really makes my day and it will help me in the algorithm. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Let me know in the comments if you suffered through any of these collectible marathons, or if you think I missed any worthy contenders. Anyway, I'm Calazaki, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!